This is the $1 million question. I get asked this probably like 20 times on every video. And I knew I was gonna have to go over this. For me, it's one thing to explain like my experience in prison, and it's a whole nother thing to experience what got me to that point, because I do have to be very vulnerable. But I'm going to do that for you guys, because I'm proud of like where I've came since then. And I'm just gonna live in my truth. So I just want to start off by saying I used to be very reckless, very dumb, and I made some really poor choices, and I take full responsibility and full accountability for everything that I did to get me to that point. Because I'm not gonna sit here and like try to like blame like my circumstances or like anything other than I made poor choices, and I was running from a lot of things going on in my personal life. And I believe that prison saved my life. So yeah, let's get into it. I caught my case in 2020. I mentioned I'm not from Ohio, I'm from Tennessee. So I was just passing through when I caught my case. And basically, I, kind of was like teetering on like in and out of, addiction. And for those who are, I'm sure many of you are aware, like once you get into one lifestyle, it leads to another, and leads to another, and leads to another. So I was, got introduced with people who like would introduce me to another lifestyle that would introduce me to someone else. So it was just like a cycle. And at this point in my life, I was just surrounded by people who kind of were like hurting and just lost souls like me. So, I don't want to say that they were bad people, because who am I to say somebody is a bad person? So I basically was running around with these 3 people, and they had the idea to go to Michigan to make some money. So they asked me if I would go with them, and I was like, sure, who doesn't love a trip? Let's just hop on the road and go. I told them, I said, I'm not driving this car because I know why we're going there. I know what's in this car, and I don't want to be responsible for that. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Boom. So we're driving. We make it all the way up to northern Ohio, driving from Tennessee. So they asked me, they're like, will you please drive? I know you said you wouldn't, but we're so tired, and we've already made it this far, like no problem, nothing. So I'm like, sure, you know what? We're only like an hour and a half away. What's the worst going to happen? We've already driven for 8 hours. It's like 3 a.m. We pull into a gas station. We get gas, I get a coffee, I get in the driver's seat. As soon as I'm driving out of the gas station, and I thoroughly believe that this was God saving me from something that I didn't know could happen down the road or anything. As soon as I'm pulling out of the gas station, the police turn their lights on to pull me over. And I freaked out. At that point, I had warrants, like little warrants, for little stuff in where I live. That scared me. I knew that we had stuff in the car that shouldn't have been in the car. I knew the car was probably not clean. And I looked back and I said, what do I do? And they said, go. So I went, and I took the police on a high-speed chase from North Ohio all the way to Michigan. So it was like for 45 minutes. It's literally like the world's dumbest criminals. I didn't know where I was. Do you know how hard it is to be on a high-speed chase where you don't even know where you're going? So yeah, there was like 8 cop cars behind me. I would like lose 2 of them, and then there would be like 2 more waiting to fall in behind me. I just remember like I was so nervous. I was about to literally like pass out, I thought. I just kept going straight down the interstate. Like I never turned, nothing, because I didn't know where the fuck I was going. Everybody was panicking. I mean, like it got to a point probably after like 5 minutes, I was like, yeah, I mean, like I know I should probably pull over at this point because I'm not going to get away. But I was like, just catch me when they do, I guess. Maybe something will happen and they'll just stop. Like they didn't stop. So it ended because I'm driving down the interstate going like 100 and something miles per hour. I hear this loud boom, 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 boom. I'm like, I asked them, I said, is that a helicopter? What is that noise? And they were like, the tire just popped. So at that point, it was like slow motion, I swear to God. At that point, I was like, there's nothing I can do. I cannot slam on the brakes because the car will spin out. I cannot, like, keep going because there's 3 tires. I'm riding on a rim. So I let go of I let my foot off the gas, and as soon as I did that, we spun out 3 times and totaled the car. By the grace of God, this is another reason why I know, like, this was a God thing for me, at least. None of us were injured. We were literally, like, 5 feet away from a 18-wheeler carrying a gas tank. They pulled us out the car, slammed us on the interstate with the big, and cuffed us and took us to jail there. I ended up bonding out, and then, because I was in Michigan, bonded out, went to court for that, whatever, and then a year later, Ohio, where it originally started, indicted me, and I got extradited from Florida because I was on vacation at the time, and they sent me to Florida, or from Florida to Ohio, bonded out again, didn't go to court because I was bullshitting with my life, and they finally got me, and I went, and they sent me to prison. I knew that they were going to send me to prison. I did not realize, like, the seriousness of it because I had just gotten away with so many things and out of so many things, like, as a younger adult, until I got arrested this time. This time that sent me to prison, I knew I was going to prison. Like, I just didn't know for how long. I look back at that and don't even recognize that person anymore, because I would never in my life have the guts to do that now. I always joke and say at this, like, now I'm going to drive around with my license and my registration taped to the windshield 10 miles below the speed limit because I'm terrified. I will not go back. I'm trying to build something, a better life for my daughter and I don't want to lose any more time with the people that I love. So that's what sent me to prison. I'm going to try to insert the video of the police chase. Or I might just put it in a separate video. But yeah, that's why.